It looks like a storm sculpted from raw motion like thunder while wearing skin. The 2026 Lamborghini Revuelto SUV doesn't enter a room. It distorts the air around it, matte purple, not the playful shade of royalty, but the deep magnetic tone of something otherworldly. Something that belongs in the sky just before a lightning strike. Lamborghini calls it an SUV, but that feels like an insult because this machine isn't trying to be practical. It's trying to make you feel something primal again. You look at it and realize it's not built for roads. It's built for theater. There's a strange silence that fills you when you first see it, because no picture prepares you for the shape of defiance this carries. It looks like someone dared Lamborghini to combine divinity and danger, and they accept it. Every crease, every surface line, every vent looks hand-carved by someone who understood what intimidation means in art form. The purple matte finish eats light like smoke. It doesn't shine, it absorbs, it swallows. You could park it next to a spaceship, and somehow the Revuelto would look like the more advanced being. The front end is sharp enough to split the night in two. Lamborghini's signature Y-shaped lighting pattern is now more aggressive, thinner, like the eyes of a beast that's evolved. The stance is wide, exaggerated, purposeful. It's not built for subtlety. It's built to remind every other luxury SUV why Lamborghini exists in the first place, to make the impossible seem inevitable. From the side, it's both graceful and violent. The coupe-like roofline glides toward the rear, but the rear haunches swell with the kind of arrogance that only an Italian supercar could justify. This isn't an adaptation of a sports car into an SUV. It's a rebellion against physics that somehow learned to move on four wheels. And when you touch it, you understand it's not just metal and carbon fiber, it's passion frozen. Lamborghini says they created this because the world demanded a new kind of presence. What they've really done is prove that beauty and brutality can exist in the same frame without compromise. The Roto SUV is the visual equivalent of a heartbeat echoing through an empty cathedral. It's loud, it's emotional, it's deliberate. Then you climb inside and the world tilts. The cabin feels less like an interior and more like a cockpit for something that transcends the idea of travel. Matte black carbon trims blend into purple ambient lighting, wrapping around the seats in a glow that feels both seductive and intimidating. The steering wheel is hexagonal and sculpted like a fighter jet control, with every switch, paddle, and button reminding you that this machine doesn't want to take you somewhere. It wants to take over you. The seats are sculpted, wrapped in deep Alcantara with violet stitching. So perfect you almost hesitate to sit in them. You're not entering a car, you're wearing an experience. The Revuelto SUV is said to carry Lamborghini's latest hybridized V12. You hear that, and it almost sounds like a betrayal of purity until you press the start button. What happens next feels biblical. The low growl doesn't just emerge, it erupts, swelling into a metallic roar that reverberates through your chest. It's the sound of evolution realizing it can scream. The hybrid system doesn't quiet the soul, it electrifies it. The instant torque from the electric motors fills in every whisper of hesitation, while the V12 sings its mechanical hymn above it all. It's not the future replacing the past. It's the future kneeling beside it, whispering, "Let's rewrite what power means." And the handling, dear God, SUV aren't supposed to move like this. The Revuelto pivots as if it weighs nothing, steering like thought itself. Lamborghini's torque vectoring system seems to anticipate rather than react. On tight corners, you feel an impossible lightness. It doesn't understeer, it attacks. It's as if the engineers broke into a dance with physics, and somehow physics said yes. The suspension feels alive, constantly shifting, constantly listening. One moment it glides like silk, the next it crouches low, ready to strike. On long stretches, you feel it breathe. The hybrid powertrain hums quietly until provoked. But the moment you nudge the accelerator, the V12 awakens again. Feral, unapologetic. The revs climb and the world around you melts. There's a strange emotional pull to it. Something ancient. Lamborghini didn't build this SUV to chase numbers, they built it to resurrect feeling. Even standing still, the Revuelto SUV tells a story. The rear design looks like controlled chaos. Sharp vents, active aero pieces, a tail light cluster shaped like fractured glass, all centered around quad exhaust that could double as cannon. The diffuser looks functional enough to keep a jet stable mid-flight. Every detail screams purpose, yet none of it feels clinical. It's passion wrapped in science. You can tell this car wasn't designed in a boardroom. It was sculpted by obsession. Every curve feels like a designer's side, every vent like a love letter to speed. The matte purple color. What a statement. It's not the kind of color that hides scratches. It's the kind that makes you remember how much you'd fear scratching it. It's emotion on paint. Under sunlight, it glows like bruised velvet. Under street lights, it becomes liquid shadow. Inside, the technology flows like veins through its skin. A triple screen setup greets you. The driver's cluster, a central infotainment, and a passenger display that allows the co-pilot to share control of navigation, media, and even some driving settings. It's immersive, almost theatrical. But even with all that digital brilliance, the car never feels cold. It feels alive. The haptic feedback from the buttons, the subtle vibration in the steering wheel, the way the exhaust sound modulates when you tap different drive modes. It's like the car is talking back, not with words but with feeling. Driving the Revuelto SUV feels less like controlling and more like collaborating. There's an unspoken dialogue between human and machine, a rhythm that builds with every mile. You start to understand what Lamborghini really wanted to prove here. That emotion is still the most powerful form of engineering. Park it, step out, and you realize people don't just look at it, they stare. There's awe, confusion, maybe even envy, because it's not just beautiful, it's defiant. This isn't a car that asks for your attention, it takes it. The world seems a little quieter around it, like everyone's trying to understand how something this aggressive could also be this graceful. The 2026 Lamborghini Revuelto SUV feels like a contradiction that somehow found harmony. It's raw yet refined, violent yet beautiful, futuristic yet timeless. Lamborghini has always been known for chaos, but this is a new kind of chaos, one that's learned elegance. It's the sound of the future humming through the veins of a legend. The Revuelto SUV is not just a vehicle, it's a manifesto. It's Lamborghini looking at a world obsessed with efficiency, silence, and predictability, and answering with passion, noise, and rebellion. It's proof that machines can still have souls, and if this is the direction the brand is heading, then the future of Lamborghini isn't just bright, it's blinding. Because long after the drive ends, you'll still feel it. The echo of its V12, the shimmer of its matte purple skin, the pulse of its presence. You'll remember how it made you feel unreasonably alive, and that's what great cars do. They don't just transport you from one place to another. They move you deeply, relentlessly, forever. Today I get to